Oh, hello there. This is Lisa Swank, and I'm coming to you with this month's theme for July. It's architecture, and when I think of architecture, I think of blueprints, buildings, how people design and make things, the plans. So these are some, I just Googled blueprints, and I discovered that there are some free ones that you can use. Um, I didn't actually go to the site, but I did make sure, and that's what I'm pointing to here is, you know, there's a way of obtaining free. But then, I got to thinking, you know, these are some old bill envelopes from my mom, and I opened them up because they had all this texture in there, and I thought, well, maybe I could sort of make some collage papers with them. And here's a stencil of some cogs, and the white pen didn't show up enough. So I actually used a Sharpie pen to kind of trace around the stencil. Wasn't the best Sharpie pen either. Um, Trying to figure out what size I need. But I thought it was pretty neat, to use it for collage papers, because that's what it reminded me of. And so you'll see. I looked up the definition to blueprints. What is it? Wiki Encyclopedia, and those were to architecture and blueprints. And I'm just trying to trace around some of the cogs here, so I can use this piece of paper for collage. And then this was another one of the envelopes, a different color though. Use a matte medium to glue it all down. And it was the fixative that I've been using is fix it. Let me get the container. Spectra Fix. And this stuff, I'm so glad Gina shared that, because it's so much better than the stuff that's in the can. Because not the envelopes, but I printed out some stuff that I'm going to use here, and for collage material also, and that's what I end up using the Spectra. The ink in my printer will smear unless I spray it with hairspray or some kind of fixative. And this here, I kind of blew up the image that was on, and it was really blurry, but I liked the color of it, so it just added more layers and texture and color. And so I'm gluing it down with some matte medium. Yeah, I think people go to school for years to become an architect. But when I think of that, animals too, uh, they build their nests, birds build their nests. Weavers will weave dry straw together to create a nest. And here I'm going to, I keep on picking this stuff up that is in my mom's yard. I think it's coming off of the roof or from the gutter because I think it's actually a gutter guard, but it's brittle. And so from the sun. And I have often used stuff like this for stencil or stick it in, a piece that I'm doing. But it was a fun little project to do. I was awfully busy this week, so I'm actually doing this kind of at the last minute. And it's been a very long week. But I was glad to be able to do a little bit of art today, and had fun with this. And I went with my stencil that had a bunch of squares on it because not that architecture can't be round, but I thought it looked kind of groovy on there. But I glued down one of my free download uh, blueprint prints that I printed out, and I decided, well, I'm going to make this look a little dreamy around the blueprint. And you'll see it says Dream Home. So I thought that was kind of neat. There's places that you can get images, that's free to download, or you just have to kind of Google it and figure out which sites. And here I decide, well, I'm going to put this mesh, this plastic mesh into my piece. And then I ended up toning down the black a little bit with some white gesso. And I used tacky glue. I guess I didn't bring up to my mom's, a good modeling paste or something that I could use. And so I'm weighting them down until they get dry enough to, to help them hold flat against the page. And here I'm using a Stabilo all to kind of grunge up the edge because I tend to like a border on my stuff, especially if it's in a book, because it just somehow frames it. And I like things a little on the grungy side, so. And that tacky glue still wasn't quite dry, but it was dry enough so I could work on the page without losing the grip of the plastic mesh. And I almost turned the book the other way and let the drips go across my page, but I decided not to do that. But it would have looked good too. But the blueprint on there of the dream house is dark enough. And it's just a generic thing that's made to look like a blueprint of a house. Just tracing around some of my background elements with I didn't want to really go dark with this because I wanted it to look kind of dreamy, you know, dream house, dreamy. But this is what I came up with this week, and I hope you enjoyed my video. It's almost done, and I'll see you next time. And don't forget to click like, and if you like the video, subscribe. And you know, I did this for my creative year. I'll put the link below to that art group, but it's a free art group if anybody's interested in joining. Okay, bye now.